Darkness. Then light, blinding, sterile, and cold. Ethan groaned. His limbs refused to move. Something restrained him, a firm yet smooth material against his wrists and ankles. The hum of machinery surrounded him, punctuated by hushed voices, female voices. Specimen X has regained consciousness. One voice noted clinically. Sultry, commanding. Another, more excitable, whispered, "Oh, I've never examined a live one before. He's bigger than I expected." A third, quieter but brimming with curiosity, murmured, "And it's moving! Doctor, it's reacting to our presence." Ethan blinked hard, his vision adjusting. 3 figures loomed over him, gorgeous, otherworldly women with shimmering skin, large luminescent eyes, and curves that defied physics. Their bodysuits clung like a second skin, sleek and professional, but strategically revealing. His mind, still sluggish, grasped onto one thing. Holy hell, am I in a sci-fi pin-up calendar? The first woman stepped forward. Silver-skinned, eyes swirling like galaxies, lips quirked in amusement. Definitely in charge. At last, a male specimen. Let's see if the legends are true. Ethan's brain fired on all cylinders. Legends? Okay, first off, where the hell am I? Second, why am I naked? The excitable one, asterisk, big glasses, a clipboard, and a tail twitching behind her, asterisk, gasped. It speaks. The shy one, smaller, with delicate markings running down her neck, whispered. And such a deep vocal resonance. It's stimulating. Ethan exhaled sharply. Lady, I'd love to return the compliment, but I'm kind of tied up at the moment. The leader smirked, unbothered. You're restrained for your safety. We wouldn't want you thrashing during the tests. Tests? That sounded ominous. And what kind of tests are we talking about? The one with glasses, Liza, he caught from her ID badge, pushed her frames up, eyes gleaming. We must assess your physical responses, stamina, and compatibility. Initial scans indicate remarkable genetic anomalies. You are highly potent. The shy one, Zyra, whispered. Doctor, I think he's overheating. Ethan's pulse spiked as cool fingers suddenly brushed along his arm. What? I'm fine. Fascinating, Zephyr murmured. His epidermal layer reacts sensitively to touch. Increase physical stimuli. Zyra reached out, hesitant but obedient, placing a hand flat against his chest. Ethan flinched. Liza's brows furrowed. No, still rising. Perhaps if we stimulate the lower region. Ethan nearly threw out his shoulder, trying to sit up. Hold up. We do not need to stimulate anything lower. Zephyr chuckled, silencing the others with a look. A human male resistant to examination? Unexpected. According to intergalactic records, your species is eager to engage in such research. Ethan gawked. You have records? Liza flipped through her notes. Ancient transmissions from Earth's prime knowledge archives. She cleared her throat and read. Hot singles in your area, ready to experiment. Ethan slapped his forehead. Those were spam ads. They weren't real. The aliens exchanged a look. Concerning, Zephyr murmured. If Earth has developed false data campaigns to downplay their male's availability, it suggests scarcity. This could alter our study parameters. Zyra leaned in, eyes huge. Doctor, does this mean we should secure the specimen permanently? Ethan's survival instincts hit overdrive. No. No securing, no long-term studies. I'm not some lab rat. Liza interrupted. Technically, you are a test subject. I swear, if one of you starts calling me Big X. Zephyr held up a device. Sleek, glowing, and ominous. Enough delays. Let's begin live evaluation. A slow, satisfied smirk curled her lips. Ethan gulped. This was about to get very, very bad. Liza adjusted her glasses, her tail swishing in anticipation. Specimen X, we are initiating the endurance trial. Please comply. Ethan glared at the glowing contraption they wheeled toward him. Yeah, I think I'll pass. Zephyr arched a silver brow. Oh? We were under the impression that human males excel at physical performance. Liza nodded, flipping through her notes. According to historical data, they have been recorded engaging in prolonged, rhythmic exertion, sometimes multiple sessions in a single planetary cycle. Ethan sighed. I feel like you're intentionally misreading that data. Zyra stepped forward, fidgeting. Doctor, what if he refuses? Zephyr's smirk widened. Then we must employ motivation. Before Ethan could argue, the restraints snapped open. His arms and legs were free. Bad sign. Liza and Zyra hurriedly stepped back as the examination table tilted, dumping him onto his feet. Ethan barely had time to catch his balance before Zephyr tapped a glowing panel. A section of the floor hissed and split open. From the ground, a sleek, pulsating treadmill rose. Ethan blinked. Seriously? Liza gestured toward it. Specimen X, you will engage in sustained forward locomotion. We must analyze your output. Zyra added. Please avoid collapsing prematurely. That would skew the results. Ethan crossed his arms. This is a glorified cardio test. Zephyr hummed. We prefer the term mating stamina calibration. His brain short-circuited. Excuse me? Liza tapped her clipboard. Based on collected transmissions, human males often boast about their unparalleled endurance. Naturally, we require verification. Ethan resisted the urge to bang his head against the nearest wall. For the last time, those were not scientific claims. Zephyr pressed a button. The treadmill surged to life. A gust of air hit him as the belt began to roll. Ethan stumbled forward, cursing. The speed increased. He picked up the pace, muttering under his breath. Liza scribbled furiously. Doctor, he is achieving an impressive rate of sustained movement. His leg muscles are exhibiting remarkable fluidity. Zyra gasped. How is he still going? His species lacks external power cells. Ethan gritted his teeth. It's called adrenaline, you lunatics. Zephyr observed with an unreadable expression. Interesting. His respiratory function remains stable. Would he endure additional variables? Before Ethan could object, a metallic arm extended from the ceiling, wielding what looked suspiciously like a feather. A very large feather. His stomach dropped. Oh, hell no. Liza perked up. A response. Doctor, he recognizes the tickle sensory trial as a valid endurance test. Zephyr activated it. The feather descended. Ethan dodged. The treadmill sped up. He dodged again. It sped up more. He cursed. This isn't science, it's a torture device. Zyra clutched her datapad. Doctor, should we initiate Phase 2? Ethan snapped. Oh, please, what's Phase 2? The treadmill incline shot up 45 degrees. Ethan practically flung himself forward, barely staying upright. Liza marveled. Such raw, primal survival instincts. Zyra's voice wobbled. It's breathtaking. Ethan's legs burned. His lungs screamed. This had to end. Then he had an idea. He stumbled on purpose. The aliens gasped. Zephyr's eyes narrowed. Failure imminent. Ethan flailed dramatically and threw himself off the treadmill. His body collapsed against Zyra. She yelped as he grabbed her for support. Liza's eyes widened. Doctor! Physical contact initiated! Zephyr's fingers hovered over a control panel. Fascinating. Continue the analysis. Ethan groaned dramatically against Zyra's shoulder. Oh no. I'm losing strength. I need direct energy transfer. Zyra froze. TT transfer. Liza gasped. Doctor! His body may require external stimulation to recharge. Zephyr exhaled, intrigued. And what, precisely, does he require? Ethan grinned. Hook. Line. Sinker. Liza hovered inches from his face, her oversized eyes flicking between him and her datapad. Doctor, his respiration is slowing. His muscular tension is decreasing. Zyra bit her lip. Could he be entering critical failure? Ethan slumped dramatically, sighing. It's bad. Real bad. I might not make it. Unless, he exhaled heavily. Unless I receive immediate energy transfer. Zyra's hands hovered uncertainly over his shoulders. But humans don't possess energy ports. Zephyr folded her arms, studying him. Indeed. However, Specimen X seems to believe physical interaction is a viable substitute. Liza adjusted her glasses. That would align with Earth's recorded bonding rituals. Doctor, shall we attempt a controlled stimulus application? Zyra squeaked. Why you mean touch him? Ethan almost laughed. These girls had no idea what they were doing. Time to make it worse. Only one way to know if it works. He sighed, voice full of suffering. I might not have much time. Zephyr gestured. Proceed. Zyra hesitated, then carefully poked his chest. Nothing happened. Liza tapped her notes. Doctor, no change. Perhaps a broader application of contact? Zyra swallowed hard and placed both hands on his shoulders. Ethan fought a smirk. Oh, yeah? That's doing something. Zyra yelped and yanked her hands back, turning 3 shades darker. He's responding. Liza's eyes gleamed. Doctor, his heart rate is accelerating. Remarkable. Zephyr tilted her head. Curious. Specimen X, elaborate on this method of energy restoration. Ethan barely stopped himself from grinning. Well, humans require something called a recharge sequence. We can't just generate energy on our own. Liza tapped furiously on her datapad. Incredible. An entire species reliant on external stimuli for peak performance. Zephyr stepped closer. And how does one conduct this recharge? Ethan went for broke. Oh, you know. Skin-to-skin stimulation. Sometimes pressure application. Maybe even thermal synchronization. Zyra gasped. That's highly advanced. Liza's eyes widened. Doctor! That would mean his species has been practicing biothermal transfer rituals for centuries. Zephyr nodded thoughtfully. And if such rituals are integral to their survival, then denying it would be unethical. Ethan barely contained his laughter. He was winning. Until the alarms blared. A metallic voice echoed through the lab. Unauthorized activity detected. Specimen attempting manipulation of lead researchers. Ethan froze. Zyra yelped. Liza gasped. Zephyr turned slowly. Ethan coughed. That sounds completely false. The AI droned on. Recommended course of action, restrain specimen. Isolate for further observation. Liza looked at Zephyr. Doctor, should we? Zephyr pressed a button. The restraints snapped back around Ethan's limbs. He groaned. Oh, come on. Zyra fiddled nervously with her gloves. Doctor, what if we were being misled? Liza frowned. But he seemed to be in distress. And physical contact did elicit a response. Zephyr smirked down at him. Indeed. However, she leaned in, lips just inches from his ear. If humans are as cunning as they are resilient, then perhaps another experiment is required. Ethan blinked. I'd like to veto that decision. Zephyr ignored him. Liza. Prepare the final phase. Liza adjusted her glasses. Yes, doctor. Ethan sighed. He really needed a new escape plan. Ethan tested the restraints again. No luck. The metal bands held firm. Zephyr stood over him, calm and unreadable, while Liza typed frantically on her datapad and Zyra peeked nervously from behind a console. Final phase initiated, Liza announced. Doctor, per your instructions, we will conduct a complete compatibility analysis. Ethan exhaled. You really don't have to. Zephyr ignored him. Specimen X, based on your responses so far, we've determined that human performance is deeply intertwined with external variables. Liza nodded. In particular, ingestion-based enhancement. Ethan blinked. Wait. What? Zyra hesitated. Doctor, do you mean? Zephyr smirked. Yes. We will now assess his culinary capabilities. Ethan stared. I'm sorry. What? Liza adjusted her glasses. We have observed that advanced species engage in bonding activities through food-sharing rituals. If humans utilize sustenance preparation to demonstrate capability, we must document it. Zyra looked worried. But, Doctor, what if he lacks the necessary skill? Zephyr tilted her head. Then he is of no further scientific interest. Ethan's blood ran cold. Liza tapped a button. A sleek, metallic kitchen emerged from the floor, complete with unfamiliar alien ingredients in floating compartments. Zyra's eyes gleamed. Oh, I've always wanted to witness a live feeding performance. Ethan's restraints snapped open. He stumbled forward, rubbing his wrists. Let me get this straight. You guys kidnapped me, poked and prodded me, put me through a nightmare treadmill sequence, and now you want me to cook? Zephyr raised an elegant brow. Correct. If human males possess superior skill in preparation and delivery, that data must be catalogued. Liza added. We require proof of satisfying execution. Zyra's tail twitched. And completion. Ethan sighed. This is starting to sound way dirtier than it is. Liza beamed. Excellent. Then you understand the stakes. He cracked his neck. Fine. You want a show? You got a show? He grabbed the nearest alien ingredient, some weird gelatinous orb that wobbled threateningly, and tossed it into the heating unit. The thing immediately screamed. Ethan yelped. Oh my God, it's alive! Zephyr frowned. Insufficient control. Liza furiously took notes. Specimen appears surprised by ingredient resistance. Zyra clutched her datapad. Doctor, should we assist? Zephyr folded her arms. No. Let's see how he handles unexpected difficulties. Ethan glared. Yeah, thanks for that. He tried again, throwing another ingredient onto the surface. It sizzled, bubbled, and then exploded. Zyra gasped. Liza ducked. Zephyr simply raised a hand to shield her face. Ethan coughed through the smoke. That was supposed to happen. Liza wrote. Specimen exhibits confidence in unorthodox methods. Zephyr's eyes narrowed. Let's see if he can finish the task. Ethan wiped his forehead. Time for damage control. He grabbed something that looked vaguely like salt and sprinkled it over the remaining ingredients. He stirred the bubbling mess, letting instinct take over. If nothing else, he could at least fake it. Slowly, the scent changed. Something good filled the air. Zyra's eyes widened. Doctor, it's working! Liza adjusted her glasses. Unbelievable! He's altering the chemical balance in real time! Zephyr's lips parted. Intriguing. Ethan grinned. Told you. Humans are full of surprises. With a dramatic flourish, he plated the dish, some kind of golden, steaming concoction, and slid it toward Zephyr. She studied him, then the plate. A single, delicate bite. Then another. Her expression remained unreadable. Liza and Zyra leaned in. Doctor! Zephyr exhaled. Fascinating. Liza gasped. You mean? Zephyr placed the utensil down. This confirms our hypothesis. Ethan smirked. Which is? She met his gaze. Human males must never be released into the wider galaxy. Zyra squeaked. They're too powerful. Liza nodded, flipping a page. If one meal can cause this level of disruption, imagine what prolonged exposure would do. Ethan grinned. Well, ladies, looks like you're stuck with me. Zephyr's smirk returned. Not quite. Before he could react, the floor beneath him shifted. Zyra yelped. Doctor! The extraction pod is activating! Ethan's stomach dropped. Wait! The panel beneath him opened. He plunged downward, shouting as he fell into the launch bay. Liza called out. Doctor, should we? Zephyr turned away, already tapping her console. No. We have enough data. Let the specimen go, for now. Zyra frowned. But what if he tells other humans about us? Zephyr chuckled. Oh, I expect he will. And when he does... Liza adjusted her glasses. We'll be ready? Zephyr's smile turned wicked. We'll welcome him back. Ethan never stood a chance.